it's time for critical thinking, and I think we'll follow the Steve Jobs path.
You think? Of
Yeah.
course. So, in critical thinking, one of the other parts of his commencement address was loving what you do or start working towards doing something else. And so his history was, he founded Apple at the age of 20 in his garage with Steve Wozniak. And so he became a CEO and fairly wealthy fairly quickly as computers were booming. But then at the age of 30, he got fired. And he said in the address that it kind of freed him to be more creative and take different paths. He said it was awful medicine, and he doesn't recommend it. So
I'm sure he didn't care for it too
Yeah,
much.
he didn't care for
He
it
was
too
very
much.
upset about it.
But if he hadn't been fired, there would never have been any Pixar. So no Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Yeah, so none of that. And Pixar made, I don't know, a dozen great movies. And then he founded the computer firm Next, NEXT. And without that, Apple actually bought them and brought Jobs back.
A big software division.
Yeah, and without that, he wouldn't have had the foundation to develop his new products of the iPhone, iPad, iTunes, basically our whole iLife. So in thinking this way, in his critical thinking of how to go about things, he really talks a lot about loving what you do and finding the passion that makes you happy. And once you do that, just keep going on
Go
that
forward.
path. Yeah. So what's his takeaway?
So he says, sometimes life hits you in the head like a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love, and that is true for your work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it gets better and better as the years roll on. So keep looking until you find it. Don't settle.
Good advice.